Luka Bogavac is finally cleared by the NCAA. Hurrah! But it's not the last hurdle after all? What are we doing?
This is Tyler Zeller, and you're listening to Locked On Tar Heels.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, what's up? It's Friday, October 24th, 2025. Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast, the only daily North Carolina show out there. I'm your host, Isaac Schade. You're joining me at the place to get your Tar Heels content every single day. It's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you so much for making us your first listener watch to get your Friday and your weekend, quite frankly, going the right way. Shouts to all of you for being here, including our everydayers, all the members of the Locked On Tar Heels Discord, and our great insiders group, which is growing by the day. This episode is brought to you by Mazda. Like every Tar Heel athlete, Mazda sweats every detail. Because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later in the show for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward moment. Mazda, move and be moved. Okay. Coming up on the show today, we are going to talk more Luka Bogavac. We didn't really get to do that yesterday on the show, at least the updated information with Coach Rob. I put out a short about it. Just, I do those silly shorts. It's so fun, so ridiculous, but I had to do that. So we'll talk more about that in more serious detail. We'll look ahead in segment 2 to the BYU exhibition game tonight, including the Luka of it all. And then we'll look ahead to the game against Virginia tomorrow in football, as well as the weekend whip around. Going to be a great show, a fun show. Excited for it. By the way, if you want a little more on BYU, Jake Hatch, who's the host of Locked On Cougars, and I did about 20 minutes yesterday of a crossover between the two schools. You can check that out on YouTube or audio. I put it on both of them, so you'll find it there. Let's dive into it. Oh, Luka Bogavac. At this point, it's honestly less to me about the reality of he's cleared by the NCAA, but something's still amiss with North Carolina, and more about the fact that we didn't actually know there was another hurdle to be cleared. All the detailing, all the intel from Inside Carolina's reporting and other places was, this is the last hurdle. And I'm not putting that fault or that blame on Inside Carolina or anyone else. I'm saying it's on North Carolina leadership for either not knowing there was another hurdle or for knowing and hiding it or not being transparent with us. Either way, it's an issue. Why did we not know? Like, why the lack of honesty? And if it was a matter of not knowing, how did you not know? How did you not know that things weren't fully cleared with Carolina? So that's it for me at this point. Yes, I'm plenty frustrated just about the fact that there is another hurdle, but I'm more frustrated about the fact that we didn't know there was another hurdle or that whatever it is, right? Now, in terms of what it is, what's the issue? As somebody that works at a college, there is a difference between being cleared by admissions and being cleared by the registrar's office or the academics office. So it's one thing to be admitted to the school. It's another thing to figure out like what all of your previous credits transfer, what year you're going to be. All of that is two different offices. Yes, they play together and they talk together, but just because you're admitted doesn't mean that we've got all your credits and all that figured out. I don't know that that's where the holdup is, but my guess is that the holdup is in the registrar's office / academics office rather than admissions. And so I hope that clears it up. It's not, there are multiple entities within North Carolina that have to sign off and do all their stuff. Again, I don't know for certain that that's what's going on. But based on me working with college students every day at the college I work at, that's often a thing. That's my best guess for it. Let me remind you of the timeline of all of this, because it will remind you of the sheer absurdity of what's going on. The end of May 31st, Luka Bogavac commits to North Carolina. Yes, yay, hooray, we got him, let's go. It's incredible. Then all the talk became, all right, let's get him here. Let's get this all cleared. Luka can get here for Carolina summer camp, meet Coach Rob, all of that stuff. That didn't happen. Then it turned to, man, I really hope he can get to campus by the time they take their beach trip. Nah, that wasn't happening either. Finally, in early July, he is admitted to North Carolina. So that's the admissions side of it that I was just talking about. And then in August, at some point in August, was granted his student visa and was ultimately able to travel to North Carolina, to Chapel Hill. You saw the video of both he and Yvonne coming in together, and all of that. And then at some point in October, September goes by with us just twiddling our thumbs. October, at some point, was granted eligibility by the NCAA. There's been rumors of that fact for a while now. We talked about it on the show a couple weeks after Sherelle McMillan reported it. And then, there's been rumors that like, hey, it's happened now. They just haven't made an announcement about it, whatever. Well, Coach was directly asked about it at his press conference Wednesday and said, yeah, he's been cleared by the NCAA, but basically now it's on the Carolina side of things. So now that's the holdup. And again, we had been told all along, the last hurdle is the NCAA. Once that's done, we're good. Luke can get out there and ball out and be a dude. So again, it really is those two questions for me. Why wasn't this holdup on the Carolina side of things taken care of? We do have to allow for the possibility that the Carolina side of it might not have been able to be taken care of until the NCAA clearance happened. But also, if so, why wouldn't Coach Davis have said that the other day, right? Like, hey, yeah, there's a holdup on the Carolina side of things. We had to wait until the NCAA clearance came through. Now they can do that, right? Like, I feel like he would have said that or should have said that if that was the case. And then secondly, again, why weren't we just simply told there's another hurdle? Why not? To me, that's a lack of transparency somewhere. It's either lack of transparency or ignorance. Either one is a bad problem. And at the end of the day, though, all any of us care about, will Luka Bogavac be able to play when the season starts on Monday, November 3rd against Central Arkansas? Well, per Inside Carolina, quote, Luka Bogavac made the trip to Salt Lake City. That's good news for the team's exhibition against BYU. His playing status for the game is currently unknown. Coach Davis was not very forthcoming with that. I believe his direct answer was possibly when asked about Luka playing tonight, Friday, in this game. So his playing status currently unknown. And then Hubert Davis said Bogavac has been cleared by the NCAA, but the institution is working on getting him eligible to play. So there's all that. So on one hand, there's, will Luka play tonight? Again, possibly is Coach Davis's word. And that could be both the whatever Carolina hurdle is going on. And also remember, Luka didn't play much in the second half of the scrimmage at Cherokee last week, looked a little bit banged up. So the possibly could be a physical malady issue, right? And then the other thing, yes, will he play tonight? But 10 days from today is opening day. Again, Monday, November 3rd against Central Arkansas. Perhaps even more importantly, 14 days from today, Kansas is coming to the Smith Center. You'll want Luka Bogavac playing in that basketball game. So whatever it is, whatever it takes, however you got to figure it out, get it done. There is no reason in the course of 2 weeks this student cannot be, when every other hurdle has been cleared and now it's an internal issue, you got 2 weeks to get him cleared for the Kansas game. Make it happen. Frankly, make it happen before that. But if nothing else, just please have him ready for the Kansas game. It's like banging our head against a brick wall at this point. Now, whether or not Luka is going to join them tonight, there is a group of Tar Heels that are going to play BYU in the Delta Center in Salt Lake City. We'll get you ready for that game coming up in just a second. right after I tell you about Mazda, who is bringing you this segment, Moving the Game Forward. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, they move culture, and they keep the game moving forward. This week's moment that moved the game forward has got to be Carolina coming so close to winning that first ACC game of the Bill Belichick era. So despite that win, they took some steps forward. And that's a step in the right direction. Encouraging to see. We'll see what happens when they take the field against Virginia on Saturday. Can they move the game forward again? That's the goal. And that's what Mazda's talking about. Because when you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. We've been talking about it the past couple days now, but Carolina, we've been talking about it for a very long time, but specific preparations, we've been talking about it the last couple days. Carolina against BYU tonight. I'll give you all the details of it in just a second. For those of you who are new since last basketball season, one of the things I do for each game preview is W2, W4, what to watch for. And the cute play on words is that I give you 4 things to watch for. So what to watch for has a U in it. Hey-oh, there you go. And W2, W4 for those of you watching. Number 1, it is the single biggest storyline of this game, so we'd be silly not to start there, is Caleb Wilson versus AJ Dybantsa, 2 of the elite 5 stars in the class of 2025. Everything you read, all the headlines are going to be about this matchup. Because Caleb is going to play the 4 for Carolina, unless something weird and unexpected happens that we don't know about. And AJ Dybantsa, to me, projects as an NBA wing, an NBA 3. But with the makeup of BYU's roster and starting lineup, I project him to be their starting 4. So I would imagine, at least prior to switching and screening action, the 2 of them will be matched up against each other. We've seen it on the AAU circuit. We've seen it on the all and so that is a thing. This is going to be a wildly intriguing matchup. Very excited for it. Very excited to see them square off. AJ is more of the walking bucket type player. Caleb is more of the, can do a little bit of everything. And not that AJ can't, just that's more Caleb's game than AJ's. So we will watch that. And let me caution us Carolina people. We saw Cam Boozer score 33 this week. We saw AJ Dybantsa score 30 last week in their loss at Nebraska. Caleb has more talent around him than either of those guys. With all due respect to what Duke and BYU have on their roster. And I mean that. I truly believe, like Duke has talent on their roster, so does BYU. But I truly believe that the talent around Caleb is more and deeper than what either of those squads have. With all due respect, again, to Richie Saunders, who's going to be an absolute dude, with Isaiah McCain and others at Duke. So Caleb doesn't have to shoulder as much of the scoring load, and also that's not as much his game. So just keep that in mind. If he doesn't go out and drop 30 tonight when we're talking about it on the post-game live reaction, it's okay. It's okay. I promise you. And beyond that, while we're going to make it all about those 2 guys, like that is the headline, that is the storyline, this game is about so much more than just Caleb versus AJ. It is both teams, both coaches want it to be about much more than that. And it will be. It will be. One of the things is that Carolina, and this is point 2 in our what to watch for, is going to have a size advantage in this thing. BYU plays a little bit smaller. Keba Keita is the starting 5 at 6'8", which means Henri's going to have some nice size on him. But he's a big hulking dude, and he can move his weight around. So Henri's going to have to reckon with that. But again, Carolina will have a size advantage, not just there, but in multiple places across the board. And so we're going to watch for that and how Carolina takes advantage of it. We're going to watch for how BYU tries to take advantage of being a little bit smaller, right? Like they want to play how they want to play. But it's such a flip, right? What a difference a year makes, where I felt like literally every game preview last year was like, oh man, the good luck to Seth at the 3 guarding a 6'8" dude. It's just like that was the common refrain last year. Carolina is oversized and oftentimes overmatched, particularly in the front court. That's not the case this year, where Carolina could go, if they want to, they could go 6'10" or higher at 3, 4, and 5 with Jarin, Caleb, and Henri, or, some combination of those things. So that's a reality. Carolina is going to have a size advantage, and they need to take advantage of their size advantage. At least got to start figuring it out, and that's why it's nice to be playing somebody with a different jersey on. Number 3 in the what to watch for. Seth Trimble is critical in this game for a multitude of reasons. It's great. This is not a true road game. Carolina's playing at the Delta Center, which is where the Jazz play, not where BYU plays their home games. But Seth is so experienced with Carolina. He's experienced with essentially a road game in exhibition play. Carolina played at Memphis last year, but in the FedEx Forum, which is where the Grizzlies play. So similarly, playing in an NBA arena in your exhibition game. You remember Seth went off in this game last year against Memphis. He doesn't have to do that again, but he's the one that's just got that solid Carolina foundation where he could do it and it wouldn't shock you. Because I would imagine there's some jitters. There's some for Kyan Evans. He's more officially putting on the Carolina jersey for the first time. He'll do that officially on November 3rd. But the same is true for all these guys. Henri Veesaar is doing that. Caleb Wilson, Derek Dixon, Luka is somebody that if he plays, I truly believe his experience in years will help as well. But man, Seth has to guide the way. His experience has to lead Carolina in what they do. What to watch for? Point number 4. Is Carolina going to play to win or play to learn? Because those are kind of two different ways you handle like your personnel. Like in terms of the on-court play, I expect a lot of vanilla. I don't expect a lot of like we're going to show you a whole bunch of sets or wrinkles we might run out against Kansas or Duke or Kentucky. I expect Carolina to play hard and be competitive because that's what this group does. But keep in mind, BYU has already played, as we said. They played at Nebraska, so they've gotten all those jitters and other things out of their system, and now they're kind of semi at home and have an opportunity to just play. And this is big for BYU because they're going to play multiple games at the Delta Center this year. So this is a start of that. For Carolina, you're going out and playing another jersey for the first time. So you got to find a way to relax and settle in and do it. I wouldn't be shocked. Again, you're not going to show much if you're the staff. I would be shocked. I think Carolina won't not play to win. Does that double negative work? But I think it's important for Coach Davis and his staff to see what they've got. Like, how does Derek Dixon perform when we put him out there as the one against another high major team? Those are the kind of things they're going to want to watch for. They're going to want to try lineup combinations. And this is the first step in that outside of the intra-squad scrimmages, because Carolina will get to do that more intentionally next Wednesday as they host Winston-Salem State in their other exhibition. So there might be more playing to win here than there will be next Wednesday. I mean, you're just overmatching Winston-Salem State. You don't have to play to win. You're going to win. It just is what it is. Here, I think both things you strive for. Yes, you want to play to win, but it's all about getting reps and learning and how do my guys respond when the bright lights come on. Even, yes, the freshmen who have never been on the bright lights of college, but even the guys who are college players, new place. How is Kyan going to respond tonight? We don't know. But it's going to be fun to watch and find out. And then a bonus. That was our what to watch for. But the bonus, does Luka play? And if not, who starts in his place? The advocation, and Coach Rob and I talked about this yesterday, is either going to be Jonathan Powell or Jarin Stevenson in my guess. I would start Jonathan Powell if Luka doesn't. Reason being, in my opinion, you've got Carolina more backcourt depth than frontcourt depth. So use one of those backcourt depth pieces to be your starting three, which I don't think is all that massive of a drop off. I think Jonathan Powell is going to be great this year. And so my opinion is that you need Jarin Stevenson more at the 4 than you do Jonathan Powell at the 2. I think, especially if Luke is out, they will both play minutes at the 3 tonight. I would expect them to play the majority of the minutes at the 3 between the two of them, quite frankly. But I think you're relying on Jarin more at the 4 than you are Jonathan at the 2. And so that's something to watch out for. But if Luka doesn't play, I'm guessing that JP starts. That's what I'm going to put my money down on for that. All right, here's the details of the game, and then we'll move on to football. Carolina, BYU, Salt Lake City tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, second late thing in a row, but buckle up because there's one more next Friday on Halloween. Carolina's at Syracuse. The game is on ESPN Plus. That's streaming. It's not on your normal TV stations. You won't find it on cable. So if you have a smart TV that gets ESPN Plus, great. You can find it there. If not, if you need the link for it, I've pinned the link for this to my Twitter profile, so you can get it right there. Tyler Zeller is going to be on the call tonight with Jones Angel. And what's super fun is he's going to then join me on the show next Tuesday. So a little primer there for those of you that are in and listening and paying attention. Mark your calendars next Tuesday. Tyler Zeller joining me on Locked On Tar Heels for takeaways from this game, as well as looking ahead to the other exhibition with Winston-Salem State. That's going to be great. As a reminder, we will be live tonight after the game. You don't want to miss out. And we will be live tomorrow after the football game, too. Lots of great, fun, extra content coming your way. By the way, it's not just Carolina, BYU. Tonight, a couple other games that Purdue at Kentucky in Rupp. Yes. Kansas at Louisville in the Yum Center. Come on. Tomorrow, Michigan at St. John's. If I remember correctly, yes, it is at Madison Square Garden. That's Elliott Cadeau against Ian Jackson. Boom. That'll be interesting. Sunday, Duke at Tennessee and Thompson Bowling there in Knoxville. I mean, it's just that's just the beginning of some of the great exhibition basketball we get to see this weekend. I cannot stinking wait, and I know you can't either. All right. Turning our attention now to football, Carolina unfortunately fumbled away a chance to get the first Bill Belichick ACC win late last Friday night. Is redemption in the cards this weekend against Virginia? We'll find out. Plus the weekend whip around, all coming up in just a second. Right after I tell you about DoorDash, y'all, the weekend is here and it's time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order, this player delivered when it mattered most. Let's break it down. For Kobe Paysor, he has kind of become this forgotten receiver. I felt several years ago, I was like, man, Kobe Paysor is going to make a dent. He's going to have a career for himself at Carolina. And then it just hasn't been. I think probably since Drake left. I think Drake liked him a lot and went to him and hasn't done really anything the first 5 weeks of the season, and then just busts out 6 receptions for over 100 yards last week. It's crazy. Great stuff from Kobe. He delivered last week, and when the pressure was on, Paysor came through. No hesitation, no delay. And, maybe we're going to start seeing a little bit of a streak start to develop here with Kobe. We'll talk about that here in the next segment in just a second. But just like he delivered for the Tar Heels, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays. With DoorDash Streaks, you save every Saturday you order. Stack it up all season, and you could save up to $250 in bonus. Save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits, not bonuses, credits. That's the word I'm looking for. Order this Saturday. Keep that streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply, and the promo code's going to run all the way through November 18th. This episode is also brought to you by our good friends at FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer that you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if you win, you get $300 back in bonus bets to use all across the app. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets for you, again, all across the FanDuel app. And when you use FanDuel, whether it's parlays or player props, even jumping in live in the middle of the action, it makes watching football even more exciting because you got a little something extra riding on the game. So whether you're a casual fan or you love diving deep into the stats to figure it all out, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. Unfortunately, right now, Carolina is a 10.5-point underdog hosting Virginia tomorrow. But maybe you think Carolina will cover like they did last week at Cal. Get in on that action. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the app and get started today. Oh, man, we get men's basketball Friday night. Exhibition, sure, but it's BYU Carolina. It's going to be incredible. BYU's 8th in the nation preseason. Good for them. But then Saturday, noon kickoff, Carolina against Virginia, the 130th installment of the South's oldest rivalry. Great stuff, Carolina and Virginia. Big picture question for me. How does Carolina look bouncing back, trying to get up off the mat after that just painful, gut-wrenching loss at Cal last Friday night, when it seemed like Carolina, there was more time, so maybe wasn't going to win, but at least was going to take a lead against a power conference opponent for the first time since the first drive of the season. And then that ball gets punched out of poor Nathan Leacock's hands. I bet he hasn't let go of a grip all week long this week. So how do you bounce back from nearly winning that first ACC game of the Bill Belichick era? Have you continued to find things? Have you continued to take steps this week? Or was there regression because of that? I'm very curious to see that against Virginia, who's ranked 16th in the nation. So let me give you 4 things what to watch for yet again. Number 1, I would imagine because Carolina nearly won, we didn't see a lick of Max Johnson last week. I don't think we will this week either. No reason to think that's going to be the case. So I'm going to imagine that this is Gio Lopez era continuing. So watch for that. Will it be Gio? Will it be Gio fully the whole game? We'll see. Number 2, I mentioned Kobe Paysour in that ad read. Was that a one-off where it's like, oh, look, Kobe Paysour popped his head up and they let him get some burn and look what he did with it? Or is it going to be like, hey, is this the beginning of a new connection with Gio Lopez that if you can get Kobe going, then that opens up more for Jordan Shipp and Chris Culver? Like, lots of possibilities there, but we need to watch it. How will Kobe Paysour follow up that massive performance last week? Massive in Carolina terms for this year. At number 3, has Benjamin Hall now taken over the running back room? For so long earlier this season, it was like, oh, this is Juju June's running back room. He's got it. He had the 3rd most carries on the team of running backs last week, 4th most total, if you include being behind Gio Lopez as well. So Caleb Hood is unfortunately retired from football at this point. You've got Benjamin Hall, who led the way last week. Is this his now? Has he taken hold of it? I'm very curious to see the split of carries and plays and things of that nature, snaps tomorrow afternoon. I caught back up on basketball. Number 4, can Carolina just get to 20? Please? They've played 4 Power 4 games now. 14, 9, 10, and 18. That's it. Not been able to get to 20. Now, if they truly found the beginning of something, at least last week, they clearly didn't get there, but there's a little glimmer last week. Can they build on that? We'll see, because to this point, again, they have not scored 20 or more points against a Power 4 opponent. That's got to change. For Virginia, Chandler Morris is their quarterback. There's been some conversation about, maybe him having interest in Carolina or vice versa or whatever. He said he was surprised by it. I don't know. I feel like it's made a weird thing weird that didn't have to be weird because it wasn't actually a thing. I don't know. Virginia, really good on the ground. One of just 3 ACC schools averaging 200 plus yards rushing per game. They are led by Jamari Taylor. So we'll see. Carolina has felt like they've been pretty good against the run. That feels like it's the strength of what Virginia is trying to do offensively. Can Carolina shut that down? That could be really, really important for the Tar Heels. Details of the game. Carolina, Virginia, number 16, Virginia, by the way, noon Eastern tomorrow on ACC Network. As I record this, FanDuel has it Virginia by 10.5. The Cavs are 6-1 overall, 3-0 in ACC play. And it's crazy. Virginia controls their own destiny for making the ACC championship game, as does Georgia Tech, and they don't play each other. So I said this on the ACC squad show this week, if you listen to that. there's a very real world because both of them have manageable schedules where the ACC championship game doesn't include Miami or Florida State or Clemson, any of those preseason expected teams to be good. It could legitimately be Georgia Tech versus Virginia. That's not that crazy or out there. So we'll have to watch that. But Virginia almost lost to Washington State last week. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. My prediction for this game, Carolina still can't do enough offensively, still can't break 20, and they are able to hold Virginia down a little bit offensively. Final score 28-17 Cavs. Weekend whip around time. Field hockey, 14-1 overall, 6-1 in ACC play. They are now, if you haven't seen it, number 1 in the nation. Great stuff. They just slid barely past Northwestern. They're out of ACC play this weekend, hosting Richmond today, Friday, 5 p.m. on ACC Network Extra. Regular season, by the way, ends next Friday on Halloween, hosting Duke. Women's soccer was in action on Thursday night, and they lost 2-1 down at Miami. So they're now 10-6 overall, 4-4 in ACC play. They host Syracuse Sunday. Got to bounce back. That's at 1 on ACC Network Extra. Their regular season ends on Thursday, hosting NC State. Men's soccer, 8-2-4 overall. Still haven't lost in ACC play, but they've only won twice. They are 2-0-4 ties, ranked 22nd in the nation. They're at Syracuse tomorrow, 3 p.m. on ACC Network Extra. Their regular season ends next Friday, Halloween, also hosting Duke. So a bunch of action going on while the football team is up at Syracuse next Friday. Volleyball, man. Ladies haven't played midweek, so they stay at 15-2 overall, 8-0 in ACC play, 21st in the nation rankings-wise. They host Notre Dame today, 7 p.m. ACC Network Extra, and then a massive matchup on Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. They host the Tar Heels do number 8 Louisville. Critical, massive matchup. Would love to see that go well. Cross country is off this weekend, but their ACC championships are next weekend, next Friday in Louisville, Kentucky. Swimming and diving is underway. They've already competed against and beaten Queens. They competed against Duke, split last Friday. Men smoked them, and then the ladies just barely fell. Next action today at Virginia, 4 p.m. on ACC Network Extra. And wrestling just about to get underway. They have their blue and white showcase tomorrow at 6 p.m. So we're starting to see the tail off of some of the fall sports. We're starting to see the ramp up of some of the winter sports. Got that nice crossover. It's a great, great time to be a Tar Heel, and it's so much fun to see field hockey back to number 1 in the nation. Now just got to get that football team going. Really excited to see basketball tonight. As a reminder, we will go live right after the game, 10, 15 minutes or so. So be ready to lock into that. If you haven't hit the bell notification, do that right now because you'll get notified when I'm going to go live and you can tap in. We'll do the same tomorrow after the football game, win, lose, or draw. So can't wait for you to be there with us for that. Obviously, I will bounce out that audio as well and put that on the audio platform if you want to listen to that after the fact. But if you want the real-time live energy, man, you got to join us on YouTube. That'll be a lot of fun. Okay, if you have not subscribed to the Locked on Tar Heels Discord, come on and do that. It's free. It's a great place to be. We'd love to see you there. If you've not joined the Locked on Tar Heels Insider Program, next level with the show, I'm working on finishing off my stat pages to get ready for the season, and so that'll be available to you free when you are one of the Locked on Tar Heels Insiders. You guys, it's always a great day to be a Tar Heel. We'll talk again tonight after the game. Cannot wait. Come on. But until then, peace.